What's up, kings and queens? Your boy YouTube Famous. Welcome to the channel where we talk about investing in stock. But I'm no financial advisor. I'm just a king trying to build generational wealth for my family and myself. So if this is something that you're interested in, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, liking the video, these content out to all of the family around the globe. Let's get into it. All right, so welcome back. Some of you have been investing for a while, or you know a little bit more. You might be advanced, intermediate. And so I just want to remind the channel that right now, this is for the investors that know nothing about stocks. They've never even endeavored to learn about stocks. And so all you know is that it's something that rich people do. So the content that I'm going to be bringing for the next few weeks is really going to help you kind of acclimate yourself to stocks and invest in the platform, understanding key concepts that are really going to be important. And so if you are more in advance, I want you to stay patient as we try to help others. And also in the chat, if you see people asking questions, go ahead and respond to them. If you know the answer to it, go ahead and respond to them. This should be an interactive kind of community that I'm trying to foster and grow and build. And so I should not be the only one in the comments. Go ahead and respond to each other. Go ahead and offer advice and feedback and answer questions and definitions and send articles in the chat. Whatever you need to do to help others learn about this, I think is going to be very important. All right. So for today's video, I do want to start with a definition. All right. I wanted to start with a definition of a stock and really kind of go through what a stock is, and that way we have a conceptual understanding of what it is that we're doing. And once we have that conceptual understanding, everything else will build on top of it. And so when we look at this definition, I just Googled stock definition, and it says preferred share. Well, that's not really going to help us. So let's see if we can find a better definition to help us here. What exactly is a stock? A stock, also known as equity, is a security that represents the ownership of a fraction of a corporation. Units of stocks are called shares. Stocks are bought and sold predominantly on stock exchanges, right? So I think this is a pretty good definition for us to use. Let's come back to this. Let's see what else they have here. What are stocks in simple terms? I like simple. A stock is a type of investment that represents an ownership share in a company. A stock is an investment. When you purchase a company stock, you're purchasing a small piece of that company called a share, right? So let me go ahead and explain this a little bit better for you so that you can wrap your head around what it is. So it says a stock is a fractional share or a fractional ownership of a company. So I want you to imagine all of the different companies that exist. We have some of the common ones. We have Nike as a company. We have Apple as a company, Amazon, Google. We have all these companies. Now I want you to imagine if you were an owner of that company. Everything that comes with that company, you will be affected by. So if the company is making a lot of money, you'll be making money. If the company is losing money, you too would be losing money. If you have a grand idea that might move the company forward, then that's going to be important in order to help bring more revenue into the company, grow the company into something really, really big. So a stock is a fractional ownership of a company. So let's continue. A fractional ownership of a company. What does that mean? It means that when you buy a share, which is the unit, right? When you go to Robinhood and you buy one share of a company, you are entitled to proportionally gain and also proportionally lose based on the daily movement of a stock. Stocks do not just go straight up. Stocks do not go all the way down. They go up and down. So we can get bothered, and sometimes it might be very frustrating when we're looking at a stock. You might buy it for a certain price, and then it goes up, then it goes down, goes up, goes down. That can really weigh on us. And so we have to have a certain relationship with money in a way that we are looking at it as we still have our ownership of the company. Even though the company may not be doing well right now, we still have our ownership of the company, which is going to be very important as we start to think about investing. If you think about it in terms of owning a piece of the company, then you might not want to get rid of a really, really good company. But if you think of it as my money, it might be easy to kind of maneuver you out of a company or out of the shares once the stock price goes down. For example, a company, you're part owner, a company has a grand idea to grow or bring a new product to the scene. Now, in order for that to happen, a company needs money in order to do those kinds of things. That's where you come in as an investor. By buying fractional ownership, companies can use your money to buy equipment, to hire personnel, to work on research. They use your funds in order to improve the business. That's why it's really important. Now, when that happens, if they use your funds, sometimes the stock prices go down. When the company is doing very well, the prices goes up. Now, depending on the size of the company, determines how big of a swing, how big the ups and downs are, right? If you have a small company, it might be easy for that company to move up, and it might be easy for it to move down. Because I want you to think about it this way. If you have a coin, a penny, and you throw it into a pond, a small pond, you'll see the ripple. But if you have that same penny and you throw it into an ocean, you might not see the ripple, right? You won't see that ripple. It won't have the same effect. So think about it as this. If you have a small company, it takes a little bit of money in order to move it up and down, to see the ripple effect. And if you have a really big company, then it takes a lot of money in order to move it up and down, to be able to see that ripple effect. And so that's how you are able to understand the prices in the stocks, it going up and going down. When you buy a stock, the prices tend to go up. When you're selling a stock, or when people are selling stocks, then the prices go down. So when you buy a stock, you don't lose money unless you sell it. When you buy a stock, you don't lose money until you sell it. Now, the price might fluctuate, the price might be down, but you still have your ownership of that company. You still have the fractional ownership of that company. So don't sell unless you're willing to lock in those losses, to really realize that you have lost money by selling. What you should be doing is buying more of it when it's down. But we'll get into that more. Again, I want to go back into this definition of what a stock is. A stock is a fractional ownership of a company. And when you buy a stock or a share of a stock, you are entitled to the ebbs and flows of the stock price. And usually your return, the money that you get, will be proportional to the amount that you invested. So for example, if you invested $1 and the stock goes up 100%, well, 100% of your dollar would be $2. If you invested $1,000 and the stock goes up 100%, well, you will be entitled to 100% of your $1,000, which would be $2,000. So it's proportional. So that means however much you invest into that company, expect that you will be proportionally rewarded when that company does well. And when that company is not doing well, proportionally, it will look like your money is losing value, but you still have your ownership. And so don't sell unless you're willing to lock in those losses. Now, pop quiz. What is a stock? I'll give you a moment to think about it. Got it? Okay. What you have to do in order for the stock prices to go up? Is it A, buy a stock? Or is it B, sell a stock? Think about it. If you answered A, you're right. When you buy a stock, that will add buying pressure, and that would tend to bring the price up. Now again, I gave you the example of the penny in the pond and a penny in the ocean. If you're just spending $1 million, that might move a small company up 25%. But if you spend $1 million buying a stock like Apple, which is $3 trillion, if you spend $1 million, it might move it perhaps maybe 1%. And that's because it's a much bigger company. So it needs a lot more money flowing into that company, buying pressure, in order to move it really, really high. So we'll be back next time. Make sure that you're liking, subscribing, and commenting down below if you have any questions. Now, before I go, I also want to share with you that down below in the description, I have a link that you can use in order to sign up for Webull, or sign up for Robinhood, or sign up for Coinbase. Now, on Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a live stream. I'm going to be doing another live stream. And on that live stream, I'm going to walk you through how to use the Robinhood app. We're going to go through how to buy a stock. And if you don't have a lot of money, maybe you have $10 in your name that you want to play around with and learn how to do that, make sure you're coming to our live stream. Click the link below, and that will allow you to download the app, and you'll get a free stock. I'll also get a free stock, and so we both win. And come back on Wednesday so that you can learn how to use the app. Now, I will say, just before I even get into it, it's the easiest app that I've found to help you learn how to invest. Once you become more advanced, there are many other apps that you can use. There are better apps that you can use. But Robinhood would be the easiest one. So make sure you go and click the link down below and get the app.